At first light, when the forest still breathes in mist and silence, movement begins almost invisibly among the wet grass. Here, close to the ground, where sunlight barely reaches the leaves, a small creature emerges as if shaped by the woodland itself. Bulbasaur moves slowly and without fear, carrying the quiet confidence of something that belongs exactly where it stands. At a glance, Bulbasaur seems gentle, almost vulnerable. But the forest does not reward poor design. Its body sits low and stable, its legs are strong enough for roots and stone, and its wide stance gives it balance where the ground is uneven and alive. Nothing about it is accidental. Even its stillness is part of how it survives. What Bulbasaur carries on its back is not decoration. It is a living structure, growing with the body that supports it. Fed by light, moisture, and time, the seed is both burden and advantage, vulnerability and power. In Bulbasaur, animal and plant do not compete. They exist in partnership, bound together by one shared rhythm. Unlike many small animals of the undergrowth, Bulbasaur does not rely on speed alone. Often it stops completely, waiting in narrow shafts of sunlight that break through the canopy. Here, stillness becomes a strategy. Light becomes nourishment. And in the silence of the forest floor, energy gathers slowly, almost invisibly, inside the living bulb it carries. For long moments, Bulbasaur appears to do almost nothing at all. But in the wild, stillness is rarely emptiness. It listens through posture, through tension in the body, through the smallest shifts in sound and scent. Every rustle in the leaves, every tremor in the ground, every shadow passing above becomes part of a world it reads with patience. The forest is never truly safe. Beneath Bulbasaur's calm appearance is a readiness to defend itself when distance closes, and retreat is no longer enough. Its body lowers, its focus sharpens. The vegetation around it seems to respond. In one instant, quiet becomes force, and patience becomes precision. Just as quickly as danger rises, the forest settles again. But Bulbasaur doesn't remain where the confrontation happened. Once the threat has passed, it turns away and resumes its path through the undergrowth. It wastes no energy on display, no time on unnecessary conflict. In the wild, survival often belongs not to the one who fights longest, but to the one who knows when to move on. As it moves deeper beneath the canopy, Bulbasaur begins to search, not in panic and not at random. Its progress is measured, deliberate. It pauses at roots, brushes past broad leaves, and studies the ground ahead. Every step is part of a quiet routine, reading the forest, choosing the safest way forward, and following the hidden logic of the undergrowth. Eventually, the forest opens around a narrow stream. Here, Bulbasaur slows again, not to rest, but to assess. Water draws life, and life draws risk. It approaches carefully, watching reflections, listening to movement in the reeds, testing the safety of the bank before stepping closer. Even in simple moments, caution remains part of its nature. Beyond the water, the undergrowth thickens. Bulbasaur enters a corridor of ferns, hanging vines, and filtered green light. It pushes forward patiently, parting leaves with its body and choosing narrow openings where larger animals might struggle to pass. This is where its shape serves it best, low, steady, and perfectly suited to a world built from roots, shade, and living walls. At last, the forest breaks just enough to let the sun through. Bulbasaur stops in a warm clearing, no larger than a patch of moss and stone. Here, after movement, caution, and travel, it finds what it has been seeking all along: light. It settles into the brightness, and the bulb on its back turns toward the sun, as if remembering an older instinct than motion itself. As the day begins to fade, Bulbasaur rises once more and climbs toward higher ground. Not in haste, and not in fear. The forest below grows dim, while the last light lingers on stone, moss, and leaf. There, above the denser undergrowth, it pauses at the edge of evening. A small creature, easily overlooked, yet perfectly made for endurance, balance, and belonging.